Hi there, I'm Dr. Anil and welcome to my channel Let's Be Healthy. If you are someone you know is worried about becoming increasingly forgetful, particularly if they are older than 65, you must watch this video so that you get a complete understanding of dementia. Imagine a world where cherished memories slip away like whispers in the wind, where the familiar becomes a distant haze and a sense of who you are drifts further from grasp. This condition is known as dementia, a labyrinth of the mind where threads of identity fray. In this video, I will navigate the twists and turns of this condition, delving into its causes, unraveling its symptoms, and witnessing the profound impact it has on individuals and their loved ones. I would like to share my personal experience today with you all about my grandmother. She was an elderly woman with a warm smile and kind eyes that twinkled with wisdom. She was all beloved by all who ever came across by her, known for her gentle nature and caring heart. However, as the years went by, my grandmother began to notice something unusual. She would sometimes forget where she had put her keys or struggle to recall the names of her dearest friends. At the first, she dismissed it as a normal part of aging, but as the forgetfulness persisted, she knew something was missing. I was concerned about her condition. I attentively listened to her worries and conducted a series of tests and examinations to understand her symptoms. After careful examination, I gently explained to her that she was experiencing the early stages of dementia, a condition that affects memory and cognitive abilities. She felt a mix of emotions fear, confusion, and sadness, knowing that her life would be forever changed. But I comforted and reassured her. I explained that a dementia was like a fog that could slowly cloud the mind, but that there were ways to navigate through it. I shared strategies with her to help manage her symptoms, such as creating a daily routine, using reminders, and engaging in mentally stimulating activities. My grandmother began to incorporate these strategies into her life. She discovered that while dementia posed challenges, it didn't define her. She found solace in gardening, a hobby she had long cherished, and in spending quality time with family. Despite the fog that sometimes clouded her mind, she remained resilient and determined to make the most of every precious moment. It could be a frightening journey, but with love, understanding, and a support system, dementia can be won. Now let's understand what is dementia. Dementia is a term used to describe the symptoms that occur when there is a decline in the brain function. Dementia is not a single disease. There are different diseases that can cause dementia. Many of these diseases are associated with an abnormal buildup of proteins in the brain. This buildup causes nerve cells to function poorly and ultimately die. As the nerve cells die, different areas of the brain shrink. So let's understand what can cause this condition. There are various types of dementia, each with its own underlying causes and characteristics. Alzheimer's disease is the most common type, accounting for approximately 60 to 80% of all dementia cases. It is characterized by the accumulation of abnormal protein deposits in the brain, leading to the progressive loss of brain cells and cognitive decline. Other types include vascular dementia, which occurs due to the reduced blood flow to the brain, and Lewy body dementia, which is associated with an abnormal protein deposits called Lewy bodies. Let's understand one by one. So the first is Alzheimer's disease dementia. Alzheimer's disease is the most common type of dementia. Alzheimer's disease is thought to be caused by abnormal buildup of two types of proteins, namely amyloid and tau proteins. Deposits of amyloid called plaques build up around the brain cells. Deposit of tau form tangles within the brain cells. As the brain cells become affected in Alzheimer's disease, there is also a decrease in chemical messengers called neurotransmitters involved in sending messages or signals between brain cells. Levels of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine are particularly low in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. Medicines like donepezil increases levels of acetylcholine and improve the brain functions and symptoms. However, these treatments are not a cure for Alzheimer's disease, but they do help improve symptoms. The symptoms that people develop depend on the areas of the brain that have been damaged by the disease. The hippocampus is often affected early on in the Alzheimer's disease. This area of the brain is responsible for laying new memories. That's why memory problems are one of the earliest symptoms in Alzheimer. Unusual forms of Alzheimer's disease can also start with problems with vision or with language. People with Alzheimer have trouble doing everyday things like driving a car, cooking a meal, or paying bills. They may ask the same questions over and over again, get lost easily, lose things or put them in odd places, and find even simple things confusing. As the disease progresses, some people become worried, angry, or violent. The second type is vascular dementia. Vascular dementia is caused by reduced blood flow to the brain, which damages and eventually kills the brain cells. This can happen as a result of narrowing and blockage of the small blood vessels inside the brain. A single stroke where the blood supply to the part of the brain is suddenly cut off. Lots of mini strokes that cause tiny but widespread damage to the brain. The third type is mixed dementia. Because both vascular dementia and Alzheimer's disease are common, especially in older people, they may present together. This is often called mixed dementia, which is because a mix of these two conditions is thought to be the cause of the dementia. The fourth type is dementia with Lewy bodies. Lewy bodies are tiny clumps of a protein called alpha synuclein that can develop inside brain cells. These clumps damage the way the cells work and communicate with each other, and the brain cells eventually die. Dementia with Lewy bodies is closely related to Parkinson's disease and often has some of the same symptoms, including difficulty with the movement and a higher risk of falls. The fifth type is frontotemporal dementia. This is an important cause of dementia in younger people. It's most often diagnosed between the ages of 45 and 65. It is caused by an abnormal clumping of proteins, including tau, in the frontal and temporal lobes at the front and the sides of the brain. The clumping of these proteins damages nerve cells in the frontal and temporal lobes, causing brain cells to die. This leads to shrinking of these areas of the brain. Frontotemporal dementia is more likely to be hereditary in nature. There are many other rarer diseases and conditions that can also lead to dementia. These conditions account for only 5% of dementia cases. They include Huntington's disease, corticobasal degeneration, progressive supranuclear palsy, and normal pressure hydrocephalus. Remember, dementia is not a reflection of one's character of worth. It is a medical condition that requires understanding, compassion, and support. Let's continue to educate ourselves and others about dementia, foster empathy and understanding, and work together to create a more inclusive and supportive society for those affected. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this video informative and valuable, please like, comment, and share it with others who may benefit. I hope you found this video on dementia, types, and its causes insightful. But our journey doesn't end here. If you want to explore further into the risk factors of dementia and discover effective ways to prevent it, I have a special video waiting just for you. You can click this video over here. I will see you in the next video. Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay healthy.